How many people in your world, people you know, are going to vote for Hillary Clinton?
Nobody.
None.
Not here. I know two.
None.
None. You have to say something or people will think the film's paused or something. It feels pretty black and white around here, that people are either Republican or they're Democrat and that's it.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
That's certainly the way it is in Milwaukee. Wisconsin's largest metro area is one of the most politically polarized in America. It's a prime example of how Democrats and Republicans are increasingly living in separate worlds.
No one's capitalized on that more than Donald Trump. He's currently campaigning in the most divided city in America. He's in his element.
This year will be the year the American people say enough is enough.
When Trump campaigns in Milwaukee, he holds his rallies in the Republican suburbs. That's where I start my journey, meeting a man who's been congressman here since 1979.
Waukesha County now has the reputation of being one of the strongest Republican counties in the nation. Beginning in the 60s, people started fleeing into the Milwaukee suburbs due to high crime, high taxes, and bad schools.
I understand that if you want to understand why this part of the world is so politically polarized, you need to understand how racially segregated it is.
That has nothing to do with it. You know, this is something that political scientists dream up.
But look at a map of Milwaukee and you see a different picture. Democratic voters are concentrated in the city. Republicans live in the suburbs. The racial demographics are shaped by those same boundaries. Black and Latino residents dominate the inner city. The suburbs are almost exclusively white. Milwaukee isn't just one of the most politically polarized places in the nation, it's also the most racially segregated. And when voters are as divided as this, political campaigns focus on mobilizing their base. Barack Obama achieved record turnout here. But is that happening this year for Clinton?
It's not happening in maybe the organized way that it overtly happened for President Barack Obama. You know, it was like your brother getting elected. It was like your uncle, your father getting elected.
Can you put your hand up if this is the first presidential election you've been involved in terms of campaigning?
Bernie is what really got me into politics. I mean, he dropped an endorsement on Hillary, and as I listened for her character and listened to what she stood for, it was a no-brainer.
This is Sean calling on behalf of Wisconsin Democrats. Do you have a moment for a few quick questions here?
I was intrigued by Sean, a 26-year-old getting his first taste of political campaigning. He invited me to his apartment to meet his girlfriend and to talk politics.
If I wake up and I see Donald Trump has won, I could have done something about it. You know, even if it's just an hour or two a week.
It sounds to me that the thing that brought you into politics was dislike of Trump rather than admiration for Hillary Clinton.
I guess you could say that. Yeah, that's kind of there's a truth to it.
How are you going to vote, Crystal?
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know if I want to. My mom did text me that I better not vote for Hillary. I don't want to say she was like, I'll disown you as my daughter, LOL, but she was just like, she thinks Hillary's crooked.
That's a common view in the white parts of Wisconsin, but not the neighborhood where Sean was brought up.
This is a Port Washington bridge. It's a bridge from a little more wealthy to a not so wealthy. It is what it is.
And it changes
instantly.
Milwaukee has some of the largest racial disparities in the country when it comes to school performance, incarceration, and unemployment. In terms of life prospects, it's one of the worst places to be young and black in America.
We're with Sean because he's campaigning for Hillary Clinton.
I am too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Oh yeah.
Hey, no, for real, I'm campaigning for Hillary Clinton too. Yeah.
What do you think of Hillary Clinton? She's straight. She's straight. So fuck her?
Fuck Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Ain't neither one of them for the people. Period. Vote Bernie Sanders. For real. He know about the struggle. Vote Bernie Sanders.
Spending time in Sean's community, I got the feeling that while people are overwhelmingly Democratic, there's some reluctance about Clinton.
Initially, her and Bill had a little problem with Black Lives Matter. They listened,
disgusted, and they came to a different reality about Black Lives Matter.
She's actively listening and actively participating in the change. Clearly, she's an aware president of what Americans' pains are.
Trump has said some offensive things. One of the things he said to get black voters was they have nothing to lose.
I bet you they'll have something to lose if he becomes president.
One area that African Americans here believe they will lose under a Trump presidency is criminal justice. At the Republican convention, Trump gave the stage to Milwaukee's notoriously conservative sheriff, David Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to make something very clear. Blue lives matter in America.
On the Democratic stage, African American mothers whose children had died at the hands of police. Among them, Milwaukee's Maria Hamilton. It was in this park that Maria's son Dontre was shot 14 times by police. But that's not the way detectives relayed the news.
They were like, well, there was an altercation at Red Arrow Park, and Dontre got into a scuffle with a police officer, and he's deceased.
Dontre was a black man asleep in a park mainly used by white people. Twice, police checked on him and concluded he was doing nothing wrong. On a third occasion, a police officer attempted to illegally frisk Dontre. A fight broke out, and the officer opened fire.
How would you summarize why Dontre died in this park?
He approached Dontre thinking that he already had a weapon, that he was someone that was homeless, that he was someone that posed a threat to him from the get-go. An individual took his gun and his badge and use it to move people from this park that don't look like they belong here. We want this to be a beautiful place, and if black isn't beautiful, then remove it.
Christopher Manny was sacked, but never charged over Dontre's death. Maria has been using Clinton's presidential campaign to push for police reform.
I am not a politician. I'm a mother that's mad as hell that my son is gone, and I can't reach out and hug him. I want things done, and if that means that I have to walk behind her, I'll walk behind her to talk to this person over here or that person.
I thought it was great for my mom to have that platform to go out from city to city and talk about the issues that's happening in Milwaukee. But as a person in the black community, why vote for a president? What impact is it really going to have on me?
Nate has become deeply involved in activism since his brother's death. But unlike his mum, he hasn't got involved in election campaigning. He's more interested in changing the dynamics of policing in Milwaukee.
How many times have you been stopped, do you think?
Over 50.
Over 50 times?
Over 50 times I've been pulled over, at least. So I've been stopped just for dropping a friend off, sitting in front of his house, having a conversation with him before he got out. When the police drive past and they see us there, then they drive past again, and then they hit a U-turn and then hit the lights. And then they come up and say, what are you guys sitting here? You guys got any guns in the car?
In this general area, how many people have police killed since your brother's death?
Jay Anderson, Tony Gonzalez, Christopher Davis, and also Seville Smith.
Seville Smith's shooting by police in August pushed the community over the edge. Rioting in the Sherman Park neighborhood lasted 48 hours. And just like unrest in Ferguson and Baltimore, it sparked a racially toned backlash from conservatives.
Joining us now, the co-founder of the Coalition for Justice. His name is Nate Hamilton. We've had the first black president in the history of the United States. Have things gotten better for black Americans under Barack Obama? This is because I'm asking because
things haven't been better.
Demographically, black Americans
it's not
tend
just
to vote
Barack
Democratic.
Obama. It's George Bush. It's Bill Clinton. It's Reagan.
George Bush has been
black
out of
people
office
have been
8 years,
suffering for
Nate.
decades.
Nate took me to the place rioting broke out. He believes the protests were rooted in the city's refusal to enact meaningful reform.
How can we make them listen to us if just our calm tone isn't working? Well, maybe a burning building will make them hear us. Maybe a burning cop car will make them hear us. It's like we did everything. We tried everything. We tried talking to you. We tried coming to the community meetings, but nothing is changing in our condition. So it's like, well, do you hear us now?
If you think about the Black Lives Matter movement in America, it's one of the most profound, significant social movements modern times. And you would imagine that that would have positive consequences for a Democrat running for the White House. It just doesn't seem to be happening for Hillary Clinton.
No, because it's not about, it really is not about Democrat or Republican right now. It's just about, are we going to be treated fair or are we going to be treated badly?
When you're out there in those white suburbs, you're treated differently.
Yeah, and I am. I worked in an area called Beaver Dam, and I was out there putting on a roof. And later on that night, I got a message on Facebook from a guy that lived in Beaver Dam, and it says, "Shut the fuck up, nigga. Same for all niggas. Bunch of whining SOBs. Hope they put all you niggas in cages where you belong, AKA prison." I didn't get mad because I'm used to this.
Life as a young black man in America's most segregated city is a daily reminder the system is against you. It's easy to see why Nate is disengaged from this election, why he's unwilling to embrace a candidate who embodies the establishment. But I can also understand why Maria, who doesn't want other mothers experiencing her loss, values the support of a powerful ally.
Dear Maria, thank you, my friend, for being with us in Philadelphia for the Democratic National Convention. We gather at the birthplace of our country to reconfirm that we are one nation, where we spread more love and kindness, and where we respect and lift each other up. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your strength to fight. With warm regards, Hillary Rodham Clinton.